Hello, welcome to Baby Child and Co once again. I'm so happy to be talking to you about one of the common things that happen to your child and what you can do about it. Today we are talking about first aid for cuts, scrapes, and falls. That's what we are talking about today. Have you already subscribed to our channel? Thank you if you have. If you haven't subscribed, please be sure you subscribe. And tell a friend so that they will subscribe as well. Because here we are talking about everything, anything that relates to the health of your child and how you can parent them. Cuts, scrapes, falls, they happen all the time to children. In fact, children basically live to hurt themselves. We pray they don't get seriously hurt anyway, but because of how they are children, they are playing. We actually say that play is their occupation, and then their balance is not very good when they start walking. So it's so easy for them to get cuts, to get scrapes, and to fall down. Children get cuts by a piece of grass, they can scrape their knees against doors, chairs, so many things. Anything can happen to them because they are always playing, and they happen to be very adventurous as well. They are playing, they are not steady, they don't really appreciate danger, and they are so adventurous. They don't know what is going to cut them or scrape them until it actually happens to them. So when your child gets a cut or a scrape, what should you do? The first thing is to wash your hands. Your hands, because you are the one going to deal with the cut or the scrape. So wash your hands with soap and the running water. And then if there is a bleed, you need to stop the bleeding. That is, if blood is coming out, you need to stop it. Usually cuts and scrapes don't bleed much. Just a tiny bleed, and this bleeding stops on its own. But if it happens that you think that the bleed is much, you don't think that the bleed is going to stop, or it is spurting blood, then you need to stop the bleed. What you do is to take a bandage or a clean piece of cloth or a handkerchief and tie it over the cut or the scrape. You tie it over it. If it is really bleeding a lot, you may tie it and then you still see blood coming onto your bandage. Don't remove the bandage to check whether the bleeding has stopped. Just apply another one on it and put pressure on it. If it is a part of the body that you can raise above the heart, for instance, if it is the hand, once you have bandaged it, you can help the child to raise the hand. It also helps to decrease the blood flow from your cut or your scrape if it is bleeding that much. Then, once you have stopped the bleeding, there are a few other things you should do. But if it is not bleeding, what you should do is to clean around it with soap and water. Don't clean it inside. Don't clean the cut or the scrape with soap and water. Don't clean it with spirit. Don't clean it with any antiseptic, because it's very irritating when you do that and very, very painful when you do that. So just clean around it. Clean the wound itself with just water, but around it, clean it with soap and water, because you do not want the dirt from around it to go into it. When you are cleaning it, if you see any dirt or any foreign thing or debris that you can pick out, just pick it out. But if it happens to be deep and you won't be able to pick it out, or if you, for any reason you are afraid, you can leave it in. You can pick it, you don't think you can pick it, just leave it in. And then you need to take your child to hospital for it to be picked out of the child's cut for you. If you've taken out the debris, there's no bleeding, you can apply some antibiotic ointment or cream to it. You can also use just petroleum jelly to cover it. Some babies or children may be sensitive to ingredients in this antibiotic cream or petroleum jelly, and they may develop a rash when you do that. If you do apply anything to it and you see that there's a rash, immediately you need to stop it. Don't continue, because that means that the child is sensitive to it. You may want to protect the wound, because you know that your child is always running about, so you may want to protect it. But if it is a place that you don't think will be hurt as your child is going about his day-to-day play, then you can leave it open for it to dry, and then it heals quite fast. If your child is older than 5 years, then that child may need a tetanus shot, especially if the wound was dirty or got from your garden or a place that is dirty. Then that child will need a tetanus shot. After doing all these things, you need to watch for infection. If the place becomes more painful, it becomes red, it becomes swollen, or it is discharging pus, or your child becomes hot, then there's probably an infection, and you should take your child to hospital for that. So that is about cuts and scrapes. Let's talk about falls. Like I've already said, children are they don't have very good balance, especially the toddlers, as they are now learning to walk. They don't have very good balance, and then that makes them fall easily. Sometimes the surfaces in the home are slippery. As they are running over it, they can just fall, or they can trip on something and fall, or they are climbing a staircase because their balance is not very good. They just fall down. So children fall. It's almost a part of the life of a child. It's almost part of being a child because they are active, they are playing, they are running around. I mean, you basically cannot prevent them from running around or playing, so they tend to fall. But there are certain things that predispose children more to falling. When you leave your child unattended at a height, let's say the changing table, you put your baby on a changing table and you don't strap the baby in, that baby can fall. The baby is on a stroller, you don't strap well, that baby can fall. Baby in a high chair for feeding, you don't strap, that baby can also fall. So those are situations that you should pay attention to. When the children fall from big heights, they really can hurt themselves. They can get brain injuries. So as for height, we do not want your children to fall from height. We know they will fall, but not from a height. So when a child gets a fall, what should you do? Well, you need to comfort your child. The child is crying, runs to you, mommy, I've fallen, daddy, I've fallen. Comfort your child. And then you need to put a cold compress on it. What the cold compress does is that it prevents a lot of swelling. The children don't like it. They don't like the ice on their forehead or something cold on their forehead. So it's a bit of struggle, but that is what you will do so that the swelling is not very big. And then once you've done that, if there is pain, you can give paracetamol or other over-the-counter pain medication. Just pay attention to your child's weight and then the appropriate dose for the child to relieve the pain. You can watch your child closely, or you should watch your child closely, and watch for vomiting, watch for any change in the behavior of the child. If the child seems not to be focusing well, that is a problem. So you watch out for that too. And if this happens, you need to take your child to hospital so that your child will be attended to. If the child has fallen and has broken an arm or a leg or any part of the body, that child definitely must go to hospital. And we pray that the fall is not heavy enough to cause a fracture. But children's bones are not like adult bones. They are still developing, they are not so strong. So sometimes fractures may happen. So you need to take the child to hospital. Again, take the child to hospital if the child has fallen from a big height. Then that child definitely must go to hospital. Because, like I said, if a child has fallen from a tall height, what happens is that the baby may have a head injury. Or if the child has fallen and has hit the head or the neck or the back, that child also must go to hospital by all means. So it's not only the fractures that must go to hospital. And baby is vomiting or child is vomiting from a fall, must go to hospital as well. In all these, prevention is better than cure. So you need to make your home one where it is not likely for your child to fall. The floors must not be slippery. Objects must not be left on the floor because this child is just running up and down. He's not even looking. The child is going to step on them and trip and fall. Don't put furniture close to windows because the child will climb onto the furniture and climb onto the window, and if it is not well secured, even the window may come off with the child or the child may fall from the window, and we do not want that to happen to your child. So this is just some first aid to your child. Try and prevent cuts and scrapes and falls, but if they happen, these are the things that you should do for your child. And definitely, if there is any doubt, despite what I have said, take your child to hospital so that your child can be looked at well. The child may need an x-ray, may need a blood count or something, so that all the right things will be done for your child. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe, share it as well. Thank you.